Before we even get started on this video, I really want you to understand the seriousness, the impact that neglect has on you throughout your whole lifetime when you were neglected as a child. And any parent can be neglectful, not just narcissistic parents, but narcissistic parents have a very specific way and different kinds of ways that they neglect you as a part of the abuse cycle that they put you through. So in this video, I will be talking about 4 ways that narcissistic parents neglect you. I'm Dr. Meg Haworth, and I'm a transpersonal psychologist, a best-selling author, and a holistic nutritional chef, specializing in helping women survivors of narcissistic parental abuse and sexual abuse to heal holistically, and specifically really the healing of releasing the energy that gets trapped in the body using somatic psychotherapeutic techniques. So today I am talking about these 4 ways that narcissistic parents neglect you. And there are other ways, but these are some primary ways that you will see. And the first way is indifference. So basically, the narcissistic parent will treat you as though they don't really care one way or the other in many ways, or they make it seem as though they don't really care about you, because they really don't, unless it's something that impacts them. Because you've got to remember the phrase of the narcissist is, it's all about me. It's always going to be about the narcissist when it comes down to any and everything in your life. So indifference is a really uncomfortable way to be treated and to be neglected. So for instance, you could be crying and your narcissistic parent is rolling their eyes at you in contempt and disgust. And you could just be sitting there sobbing, and they're treating you as though you're just not important, because you really aren't to them. And this is a really hard thing to get. And this message of indifference, it can carry with you throughout your whole life. So they may show zero, I'm talking zero interest in you and your success, unless, of course, that success makes them look good or is something they approve of, and then they'll feel like, okay, well, that's fine, I can support that. Because again, it's all about them, it's not about you. So this feeling of indifference and being treated as though they don't really care about you can give you that message that you're not lovable. And this impact will carry through your whole life. So I've got to say, therapy is necessary if you want to heal from this. It's necessary. So that's one of the first ways is indifference. And the second way I'm going to talk about is they give you what they want you to have, but not necessarily what you need. So they may give you something, and often when they give you something, it's basically they're love bombing, trying to pull you in, reel you in after the abuse cycle where they have treated you just horribly. And so now they're trying to reel you back in, and they're giving you stuff. So maybe they may say to you something like, oh, let's go shopping for that prom dress, or let's go get, this thing for you, or let's go out to a nice dinner tonight or something. And you're just like, oh, yay, good dad is back, or good mom is back. But really what they're doing is they're manipulating you to get something they want from you. And it's really hard to understand this and to admit this to yourself when this was your parent and this was the way that you were treated. But them giving you what they want you to have versus what you need. So you may end up learning that your needs aren't important, and you may never ask for what you need or even what you want, because you feel like you're not really allowed to have those things. So why even bother? Like, it just doesn't even clock on your own radar that you can ask for something that you need in a relationship that you're in as an adult. And so you probably will never ask for things that you need or want. So that's one of the ways that narcissistic parents neglect you and some of the ways that it can show up in your life later on. So another way that a narcissistic parent will neglect their child is they just never have time for you. So they, may come home from work and then disappear into the television set or into, a room where they're just isolating themselves and they're alone, and they're not going to talk to you. They're not going to ask you how your day was. They're not going to connect with you. And so that's a form of neglect. We're going to get to a little bit more of that in a moment. And I'm also going to be telling you some things that you can do about all of this, and because the impact can be and will be lifelong until you do something to really change this dynamic. And so you have to learn a new way of being and thinking and being in the world, but it's all doable. It's all doable. So they never have time for you, like I was saying, and everything that they do is all for you. They will say things like this, like, I'm doing all of this for you. I work so hard just for you. I'm so busy just for you, and you want me to go play catch in the backyard? I don't have time for things like this. I'm work all day. I'm so busy. So you get that message that you're not important, because again, I'm sorry, but to them you are not. And you get the message that you're not worth spending time with. And in their eyes, they don't know how to connect with you anyway. It's really uncomfortable for them because it's not about them if it's about you. Does that make sense? It's so hard to take, I know. So what you'll end up doing is, as you grow up, is you'll neglect your own needs, and you'll see everyone else's as more important than yours because you were literally programmed to be this way. You were trained to be like this. So the fourth way, and I think this is the most damaging way of all, and it really kind of encompasses all of them, but there is no emotional intimacy with this kind of parent. There's no emotional connection where you are going to seek out this parent to help you when you're in a time of need. You're going to have to learn how to do all of that stuff on your own. You're going to learn to go to your friends. You're going to learn to go to your therapist, if you want to get some emotional support and some emotional safety, because you're going to feel unsafe emotionally. Your narcissistic parent is never going to be interested in who you really are, what makes you tick, what's important to you. You're not going to feel supported by this person. And in that right there is a huge way that they neglect you, is by not supporting you. And if you look back to your childhood, you're going to see the many ways that they didn't support you emotionally. For instance, so say you came home from school and you had a big breakup. It was your first breakup. It was your first boyfriend or your first girlfriend, and you were heartbroken and you're crying and you're so upset. Your narcissistic parent is likely to roll their eyes at you and go, oh, please. That's just so ridiculous. You weren't really in love. You're just a kid. Or, they'll minimize you. They'll dismiss you. They'll talk to you as though you're not important because, again, in their eyes, you really aren't. Narcissistic parents will see raising their children as a chore. They won't see it as a great privilege or a playground. The joy of raising children will be lost on them because they don't see things the way much of the population does, and they don't have empathy. And this is a key thing and why they can't connect with you emotionally, intimately, emotionally, because they don't have empathy, or they have very low empathy. So they're not going to feel with you. They're not going to feel like how heartbreaking it is. Even if it happened to them, they're not going to feel how heartbreaking it is for you to have been broken up with your first boyfriend. So they're not the person you're going to seek out for emotional help or emotional needs. And now the effect that this is going to have on you, or can have on you as an adult, is that you're going to put everyone else's emotional needs ahead of your own. You may seek out other narcissistic mates as an adult. because you know how to deal with that, you know how to care with that, and then you're going to take all of the focus off of your own needs and off of what you need to have for yourself, and you're going to put it on your narcissistic mate. You may also attract addicts, because addicts are notoriously narcissistic, and even when they're actively in their addiction, they are extremely selfish, they are extremely self-centered, because the most important thing for them is getting more of the substance to get the feeling so that they can push down their feelings. And so having an emotional, intimate relationship with somebody who is actively in addiction is not possible. It might be emotionally dramatic, but it's not going to be emotionally deep and emotionally satisfying on your end. You're going to feel like all you're doing is taking care of this person. And if you're in this kind of situation, please seek out Al-Anon. It's an incredible, incredible group that can really help you understand your addiction to emotional people, to being around people that are dramatic, because you're trying to rescue them. The archetype you're going to be so familiar with is the rescuer archetype, especially if you're an empath and a sensitive and an intuitive, because those things, they leave you in another focused way. In other words, they make you focus on other people instead of on yourself. So if any of this video sounds like you and what you went through and the kind of parent that you had, then please book a free call with me. I offer free consultations, and we can talk about how to help you heal this holistically from this narcissistic parent neglect that you went through, and the ways that you may be neglecting yourself today. And then I can help you learn how to raise your self-esteem, how to raise your value, how to find your life purpose and path and identity and meaning, and also help you heal your body in the process, because it's all connected. As a transpersonal psychologist, I look at the whole of you. I look at your mind, your body, your spirit, and I look at how all of those things are interconnected, and we help you heal through releasing energy from the body, from the energy system, to help you evolve and grow and change and become the person you were meant to be. Narcissistic parents will neglect you. It is a form of abuse, and it is something that you will need help with overcoming as you become an adult, where you may isolate yourself, especially if you're an empath. You're going to be feeling everything out in the world. You're going to be feeling everybody's emotions, including your own. But as you sift through these traumas and you let them go, as you release them from your energy field, you will feel better. You will feel more empowered, your health will improve, and also I can help you with your nutrition as well. So if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, you can book a free call with me. If you're interested in learning my whole person integration technique and getting certified in that, and also learning my empath recovery system for coaches, therapists, healers, conscious health practitioners, then sign up for Evolving Intuition, Building Self-Trust for Life. You can apply in the links below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm Dr. Meg Haworth, and I hope this information will help you get well